On today's episode, Eddie and Webby prove once and for all how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. This is the Eddie and Webby Podcast.
Oh, hey, how's it going? This is Webby, not Eddie.
And I'm Eddie, and today is our first podcast.
Oh, yeah. Podcast numero uno.
Well, since you are now obsessed with pickleball and are kind of becoming the pickleball master out of the two of us, why don't you share with us your first pickleball tournament experience?
It was pretty awesome, not gonna lie. It was a great time. I was extremely nervous leading up to it because I didn't think I had enough experience. I thought I was getting in over my head, and had a lot of butterflies in the old stomach the morning of the event. But once I got there, it was totally fine, and it was a lot of fun. I ended up placing 13th out of 16 in the division I was in. So not great, but at least I didn't come in last. And I feel like a lot of my games were very close. Most of the games that I lost were only by like 1 or 2 points. I did have one shutout loss that was very heartbreaking. Boom. And there's I still have a lot to learn, but I can tell that I've gotten a lot better since I first started. I learned how to play less than a year ago. It was last summer. A few of my friends and I, we went and played at an outdoor court near where I live. And after that first day, I just knew right away, this is a game that I love. I became addicted immediately. And I set a goal for myself right away to try to do a tournament this year. So I did that. I got that first tournament out of the way. It didn't go great, but I had a great time. And I've actually signed up for my next tournament, which is going to be in July. It's going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And from what I hear, it's going to be a lot tougher than the one that I've already done. So I've got my work cut out for me. I got to get better. But I've played a good amount since the tournament that I played a couple months ago. And it is... I've noticeably gotten better. I'll say that. I can tell that I've gotten better. So I just need to keep that up, and hopefully I will have what it takes to place somewhat decently in the tournament in July. And I'm hoping that Eddie here can be my partner.
We'll see. I don't know that you want me in your team, though, man. It sounds like you're actually doing pretty good without me. But I do have some questions about the tournament, if you don't mind me asking you.
Yeah. Go for it.
So you talked about the divisions, right? So how do you know which division you should sign up for?
So I had no idea because I've never been ranked. Apparently, if you do an official USAPA tournament, you get ranked beforehand so they know which division to put you in. And the rankings are 2.5, I believe, is where they start, and they go up to 5. Like the absolute best players are a 5. And I figured I was probably like maybe a 3, maybe 3.5, pushing 3.5. So I signed up. I thought I was in the 3.5 division when I got there, but it turns out I was in the 3.0 division. So there was one division below what I was in, and when I first got there, I thought maybe I should have done the beginner division since it was my first tournament ever. But I was able to keep up with the people in the 3.0 division that I was in. And pretty much it depends on like if you can dink properly, if you can lob without it going out of bounds regularly, things like that. There's a whole checklist. If you go to the USAPA website, they have a checklist on what it takes to be in each of the different divisions. So I feel like it's pretty simple to be able to tell which division you're in yourself by looking at that list.
So retrospectively, you would have preferred to be in a different ranking. Is that what I understand?
So I thought the lowest was the 3.0, and I thought I was in the 3.5. So when I thought that was the case, I thought I should have been in the one below. But the fact that they were 2.5 and I was in 3.0, I feel like that's about right. There were people in the 2.5 division that I know definitely should have been in a division or possibly even 2 divisions higher. I feel like they were just trying to go for a medal. They knew they could beat the people in that division. So there were definitely some people that played in a division below what they should have.
Losers.
I feel like I was in the proper division. I just didn't do as good as I had hoped I would.
You know, that's unfortunate though. I mean, you want to get your ranking so that you make sure that you're evenly matched. It should be competitive, and then people are going to try and sandbag their actual rankings. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was kind of weird to me, and I didn't really like that. But oh well, I guess that's pretty common. Somebody was telling me that a lot of people play in the division below what they really are. But yeah, to me, that doesn't seem right. I would prefer playing in the division that I belong in.
And then I've heard that a lot of these matches end up in like fist fights. How many fist fights did you get involved in?
At least 5 per game. There were so many fist fights. That's what pickleball is known for, is the fist fights. Yeah. But no, I'm just kidding. I've never seen any fighting other than people arguing over whether a ball was out of bounds or not. That didn't happen during any of my games during the tournament, but I've definitely seen that, like, even during casual play, where some people just are adamant that the ball was either out or in, no matter what the other people say.
Well, it sounds like it was a fun experience for you.
It was very fun. I am looking forward to the next tournament. Hopefully I get enough experience to be decent in there. The goal next time is to not be third from last place.
Yeah, well, I did want to give you a medal for being third from last place. Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Yep. Thank you.
You weren't the worst. You weren't the second worst. You weren't the third worst. So that's good. You were better than 3 other people. So good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Anything else you want to share about your pickleball tournament experience?
The only other thing I have to say about pickleball is I can't wait to play against you, because we still have not played against each other. I challenged you quite a few months ago, and I feel like you've been avoiding me.
All right. Well, if you want to get like that, then let's talk about it. Because you live in a state where it's really cold and snowy and crappy. You can't play outdoors, and it's just not really an ideal environment. I personally live in a state where I have 4 courts that are 100 yards away from me, ready to play at any time. We don't have to worry about weather or any of those factors. So I really feel like it's on you that you haven't wanted to play.
I don't know about that, because we've got a lot of indoor locations here, and there's even a place that I'm pretty sure I told you about that we could reserve. You can rent the courts for pickleball. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a weak excuse. I mean, yes, obviously where you are is better for outdoor play, but it doesn't have to be outdoors. It could be indoors.
It could be indoors. I honestly have never played indoors, though. I don't know if it's different or not, but I'd be willing to do it.
So I learned how to play outdoors. I haven't played outdoors since I actually learned how to play decently. So everybody that I talk to says they love playing outdoors a lot more than indoors. I've actually really been liking indoor play because you don't have to deal with the elements. There have been times where the sun was excruciatingly hot, or like if you play on one side of the court, it's in your eyes the whole time. And there's been times where we played and we didn't want to stop playing, but the sun went down and there weren't lights in the outdoor courts we were at, so we had to stop playing. So I've been liking the indoor experience, but when the weather conditions are good, I could see outdoor being preferable.
Well, we will play. We promised all of our viewers that we would play against each other. I hope that we get an opportunity to play with each other before we get to play against each other as well, so that way we can learn each other's strengths and weaknesses and prey on them.
Yes. I think we could work that out. I'm getting some friends in the pickleball world. I'm sure we could find a couple to play with and against us.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Webby. That was a good conversation around the tournament. I'm very curious because I've never been to one or seen one, and I definitely am looking forward to my first one.
Yeah, and hopefully your first one could be the one in July in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The one that I'll be at.
Grand Rapids.
At the moment, I have no partner set, so I'm going to end up with a random person if you don't join.
A rando.
So just throwing that out there.
All right, well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know for sure. Well, thank you guys all for sticking around if you've stuck around this far. We might be launching this as an official audio or actual audio-video podcast on iTunes. There's just one thing we have to do, and that's figure out how to actually do it. I don't know, Webby, do you know how to do it?
Don't you just click the podcast button and then it gets uploaded to the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll...
You just do the upload podcast button.
Yeah.
To the podcast.com, isn't it? Or whatever?
Yeah,
or is it podcast.org?
I think it's uploadpodcast.org. But who knows? We'll have to figure that out.
Who knows? Maybe this will be the last one. Maybe nobody will watch this, and this will be the last one.
Yeah, maybe we'll fall flat on our face, and this is just awful content, and nobody cares, and we'll just continue with our normal lives. We definitely want to hear your guys' feedback. Right, you're part of the Eddie and Webby family, whether you like it or not. We're a little bit dysfunctional, but we want to hear your comments. Right, if there's a particular beer you want to talk about, maybe a piece of technology, or maybe you just want to tell us how much you love us or hate us, or just give us any feedback. Throw it in the comments below. We would absolutely love to hear from you guys. And you can follow us on Instagrams. What is it? Instagrams?
Instantgrams.
Instantgrams.com. And so go to www.instantgrams.com or Twitter, the tweeters.com. You can go there. We're both under Eddie and Webby for both Instagram and Twitter. So go ahead and follow us there as well. Anything to say, Webby, before we close this down?
Just got to say thanks to all of you that are still watching. There might be one or two of you out there still that haven't X'd out of the video. I'd be very, very, very surprised if there's more than one person out there still. Yeah. But thank you. Yeah. You know who you are. Thank you very much. We love you.
Thank you to that one person. Awesome. All right, guys, that's it. I'm Eddie.
And until next time, this is Webby, not Eddie, signing off.
See ya.